Good morning. It's really great to be here today together with Evelio Acevedo, who is the Managing Director of Museo Thyssen Bornemisza here in Madrid. I must say that we're very grateful because we really hold a very, long-term collaboration with the museum, and we're extremely thankful for the support you're granting us, I would say, in a permanent basis. So what is happening today, I think it's just a new milestone, I think, in the relationship we have with the museum. And I think the relationship embodies kind of a good example of how cultural institutions and educational institutions can really work together
Absolutely.
to create more meaningful experiences. The collaboration we have just started speaks about how really we can bring the art outside the museums, inside the classroom, or inside the cultural spaces. Just to get you an idea what we're going to be doing in the coming, we start in 2025, and the idea is that the collaboration goes until 2027, is that in significant events that we host here at IE, we're able to connect with specific works of the collection of the museum to speak about relevant contemporary topics. We're going to be kickstarting with sustainability. During Sustainability Week, we have the opportunity to enjoy one of those artworks from the museum that are going to be projected in some of the big screens we have here inside the I Tower. Mm-hmm. So thank you for that. We're going to be also replicating this experience for Women's Day, for Sports Week, and for Earth Day. And I think it's a beautiful way to show how art is relevant in so many different contexts. So the first question I would like to ask you, Evelio, is how do you think projects such as this one can help us connect with younger audiences and connect, I think, in a deeper way with the collection of the Thyssen Museum?
Well, I must say that we are very happy with that long collaboration between IE and Museo Thyssen Bornemisza. Actually, I appreciate very much, the interest and the sensitivity of IE about humanities. I think it's a very smart vision to incorporate these contents in any kind of graduation programs, technicalities or not. But humanities is a subject which is absolutely necessary to make the people grow up in a more comprehensive way about the world. And I think it's important, particularly in these times, to help the people to build up as well some critical thinking about what's happening around. And in that sense, an art collection like ours, which is a testimony of the Western life since the late 13th century up to the 21st century, it's a fantastic way to discover that many of the problems, difficulties, challenges that we are facing nowadays, it's not new. This is something that has happened along the history. To have that perspective and to see how these changes or challenges were faced at that time, I think helps to put you on the spot, to give a different perspective of what the things are. Ecology is nothing new, and we have in the Thyssen collection a number of artworks which are speaking about that. For instance, the ancient masters already, but for instance, the Dutch painting in the 17th century. So it's a community, it's a society which is concerned about the progress and how it's impacting the rich nature they have and the way of living they had, so the rural living they had. It happened the same with the Industrial Revolution. And it happened the same when the United States of North America started to grow, and a number of crowd of people coming from Europe was arriving there and was opening new cities and building up railway networks and all this progress. So it's a terrible impact in the wonderful nature of these countries, no? It happens the same with a number of problems with the evolution of women and along the history. You know that recently we had an exhibition speaking about that, particularly with women artists. But it reflects as well in general the way, the life of women and how it was in some way damaged in comparison with the traditional role of men. So I think that from that perspective, it's very illustrative, it's very pedagogical as well, to understand what's the world we are living now, what's the problems we are facing now, and having that perspective of how the population, how the civilization was dealing with all that things along the history.
I cannot agree more. I mean, for sure, something that I think history and our history gives us is perspective, and it gives us the capacity to build upon the experience of the ones that preceded us. So, and this is definitely something we really want to foster among our students, and is the capacity to develop a critical thinking. So, I could not agree more. Well, I think the initiative we've just launched, I think is a great example on how technology is an enabler. It grants us the possibility of experiencing the museum outside the museum without replacing it. For sure, the fact that we have here, the replicas or the reproduction through digital means of those artworks is going to make us, bring the museum closer to our students, while at the same time they're going to be privileged because we're very close to have the possibility to later go visit the collection and see the art, the works live. But how do you envision these digital tools shaping or transforming the museum experience in the future?
Well, I think the first impact in principle is the scope. I mean, the how far the museum could reach in their mission according to the different audiences. So we take very much into account not only the visitors, the presential visitors, but all those which are not visiting the museum physically, which is, the positive that the digitalization offers to the culture in this particular case. So imagine, so we have about 1 million visitors per year. That's the right size we can afford, according to the spaces we have and the quality of the visit we pursue. But we have 4.3 million of people entering into the web and visiting the different contents. So more than 12 million of pages views. No? And then, well, that's a reality. So we are not working just for the physical people in the space, but for people which is very different, because we are open to different cultures, different mentalities, different languages, of course, different expectations as well, in many cases. So those different cultures require or bring another perspective about what you expect in a museum or what interest you have in a particular painting movement or artist or whatever. So I think it's very important. I think it's very useful to account on that. It's delicate. It's expensive as well. So you know that always the cultural, particularly the public institution like ours, so budget is always well, not a nightmare, but I mean a different thing to tackle with. And well, that makes us to choose very well how we will make that unfold, that development of technology. And we have to think very carefully the contents we can offer. For instance, well, the immersive experiences, which is something very, very common presently. I think that's not the way for the National Museum Thyssen Bornemisza. I think that our responsibility is to offer contents of higher quality and deeper knowledge in order to provide the audiences with that bigger scope of knowledge about art and about what art is representing. But I'm not to criticize them. I mean, in some way, it's a way as well to bring, to appeal people, audiences that in principle they think the museum is not for me because I'm not an art expert, which is a wrong thought, because actually the museum is not only for people who knows about art. It's a space to know. It's a space to to fun as well, to have experiences, interesting experiences. So it's a space for everybody. So I see positive that model. And apart from that, I think the development in technology, it's something, it's a must, absolutely necessary. There is no step back at that respect, because audiences are expecting as well for that. We have some samples, very, very remarkable, which some way was the result of the pandemic. The pandemic obliged us to close the doors and to keep far from other audiences, from our audiences, no, which is the worst. We service the public. We are a public service. So in order to prevent and to, in some way, follow up feeding that close relationship with the audiences, we thought in a product which is the digital visit to the museum, but not in a packaged way. So you have the same visit you can do through to the galleries with a guide, interacting with the guide, speaking with her or him, and going through these artworks, not in the same way as if you were walking down in the gallery, but the digital offers you the possibility to see the artwork from another perspective. So we can offer in that visit what you don't see when you are in the gallery. I mean, more details, gigapixels, the backside, exactly, and reflectographies, X-ray, all these studies that bring you a lot of information. Of course, I mean, the ideal is afterwards you pay the real visit to the museum and live that, what I would say, iconic experience, to have the real work before, in front of you. But I think the digital is basic for the possibilities it offers to reach a wider spread of audiences all over the world, and to going through more detailed and rich information, knowledge about not only the artworks, but the humanity as well.
Interesting. And I would like to tap actually into a comment you made about, what is then the role or the opportunity that actually the museum now brings to the table. And I mean, we live in this very fast-paced world. Everyone is in a rush. Everything is very immediate. What do you think the museum has to offer for all audiences, but particularly maybe for youngsters? No, it's in a way it's a space also for contemplation, for stopping, from taking the time to look into something without being so rushed. So how do you envision? What opportunity does museum bring today for young people?
Well, I think that's one of the most important missions that we have to meet. I mean, our relationship with the young people, with youngsters, audiences. So we are working very, very strongly at that respect at the Thyssen. We have developed, apart from the special amigos del museo, young amigos, jóvenes, no? Young friends of the museum. We have created as well a particular program which is Lab Thyssen, which goes beyond of which is the traditional relationship with the publics of the museum. Goes beyond because the purpose is to create a community with them, and community which is sharing a number of values of interest, taking the art, of course, like the platform, like the tool, but well, it's a way to connect people with common interests in a common space that help you to think about all these issues that we were commenting at the beginning of the interview, and giving them an important role, which is, I mean, this program is your program, so it's not only what the museum is going to deliver you, but we expect you to tell us what you expect from us. And what's the role you would like to have a museum. And it's working amazingly well. So we have, I think that we have that responsibility as well. As I told you, art is the excuse, if you like, no? to bring debate and to approach different perceptions of life. No? And what we are realizing is that not only the contents of Lab Thyssen is what we offer in that program, but which is amazing is that the people, the young people which is participating in the program, finally they are continuously bringing up, offering up new activities, new possibilities, and the best is that they feel quite comfortable going through this kind of experience with a museum. I pointed a question to one of the members a few days ago about, well, has changed your opinion about a museum now and before you experienced the Lab Thyssen? And in general, they said, absolutely, yes. So we never thought that a museum could be a so alive space where, you have not to be an expert in art or in this kind of contents, but it's an experience of life as well. It's an experience of building up community, putting together people which shares a number of values, interests, curiosity in general. I think that's one of the roles that we play with more pleasure, and sincerely, I think that it's an important contribution we have to do to the present generations for future.
Thank you so much, Evelio. I have to say that I could not agree more. I believe, the vision of our university in this sense that we really believe that cultural institutions can be the classroom outside of the classroom, so an extension of what an educational institution should be. And I think institutions like the Thyssen Bornemisza really offer us that. And it makes a lot of sense to speak about things and then go in another space where you can also speak about similar things, but through a different perspective and with different tools that we don't necessarily have in a classroom. So I think that makes the experience very holistic, very complete. And I must say that we're very lucky we can provide this experience in a city like Madrid, where the cultural ecosystem is so rich. And we feel very privileged to be able to put that in place through the possibilities that Madrid gives us, and definitely the Thyssen Museum is one of those assets. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for this collaboration. We look very much forward to enjoying it as a community, and of course to visit the original pieces in the museum to really have the 360-degree experience.
Now, thank you very much to IE as well, because it's the ideal partner for us. And well, you have the youngers, so you have the people we want to get closer to the Thyssen. And I think that the combination from your perspective and ours, it's a successful way to meet our objectives.
Absolutely. Thank you once again, Evelio, and we hope to see you very soon again in IE.
Of course, thank you.